Rise and shine, 16. It's time for another day of work here at the Steelworks. Whoa, kinda slippery after last night's rain. Oh, and no trying to go past the danger sign. Got it? Yeah, whatever. Hey you trucks, it's wet and slippery today. When we get to the tip, will you drag me past the warning sign? Ooh, that sounds awfully troublesome. Yeah, if it's troublesome, we'll do it. Right, come along then. Let's get going. Here we go. Get ready. Go on. Go on. Whoa, whoa, whoa. You silly engine. Wasn't my fault. It was those trucks. You wanted to pass that board since day one. I believe you asked them to drag us on purpose. What are you doing there, driver? It's not safe. The trucks dragged us. Well, come to the office with me, and you, fireman, get your engine back on firm ground before it's too late. Alright, I'm coming. Be quick, fireman. Oh, that's not good. Oh dear, if I try to move the engine now, it'll only make things worse. Oh, maybe this wasn't such a good idea. Oh, you think? Oh, get me out of here, fireman. I don't think I can. It's about to give way. I gotta get out of here while I still can. Whoa. Phew, I'm safe. Uh-oh, 3, 2... Ow. Help. Oh, and I don't want you even thinking about trying to pass the danger sign at the slack heap. No, no, no. You silly engine. Wasn't my fault. It was those trucks. You always wanted to pass that board since day one. I think you dragged... I gotta get out of here while I still can. Whoa. Oops. Hello everyone, welcome to this custom story layout video based on the Railway series story Cab Over Wheels. It's been about 5 months since I released my first story layout video, which was based on the season 5 episode Horrid Lorry. I wanted to make some more, and I had the idea of doing one based on Cab Over Wheels for quite a while, ever since I made that Horrid Lorry layout. But the tricky part was going to be figuring out how am I going to make the area where 16 falls off the rails. But just recently I was able to come up with the idea on how to do that, and I made the layout, and now I'm filming it, showing it off to you guys. So let's see what this layout has to offer. First, I just want to say real quickly that the beginning of this video, where the story was briefly told, that was inspired by this user called the Train Modeler. Some of his recent videos have had clip remakes from episodes, and then he does some behind the scenes stuff afterwards. So this was kind of inspired by that. So anyways, yeah. So first thing I'll talk about for this layout video is that if this was an actual product, this 16 engine would be an exclusive item for the set. This 16 custom was made by Domeless Engine. So it's basically, as you can tell, a wooden railway wheelbird body with an Earl 16 face. So yeah, 16 would definitely probably work good as an exclusive item in this set if it was sold in stores. I'll just give you guys a look at this custom model real quickly. And so included with 16 are 2 dumper cars. In the Cab Over Wheel story, 16 works in a steelworks where he and other engines take trucks of slag to a place called the Tip. So these basically work like slag wagons, like the ones you see in Journey Beyond Sodor at that steelworks. So yeah, they're carrying slag and then they can tip to dump it out. I thought these would work well. So yeah, I put 2 of them on this set because 2 is just enough, not too many, not too few, and it helps in terms of like filling up space on the track in certain areas of the layout. You'll find out what I mean by that in a little bit. Now, one thing I'll quickly say is that this dumper car here, it says Farquhar Quarry, but if this was an actual set with these dumper cars included, it would just be a duplicate of this one instead of this. I only have one of these, so I just included this one. I do have some other dumper cars, but they're flour cars, as in they carry flour, and they say like flour on the side. So I wanted to make sure these were like dumper cars that would like be carrying quarry material like stone or slag or whatever. So yeah. Anyways, here are 3 wooden railway figures that would be included. This one being the foreman of the steelworks, this one being 16's driver, and that one being his fireman. Now here's a look from above on how the whole layout looks. It's not super big, but it is a little spread out too. Yeah, I was originally gonna have it be a little more smaller and more simpler, like basically an oval and then this siding over here, but then I decided to add a little bit more, and it definitely helps get the layout Cab Over Wheels steelworks feel, if you know what I mean. So let's start over here where 16 is. He's going to be pushing the dumper cars to this junction, and this track will lead towards the area known as the Tip, which in Journey Beyond Sodor is known as the slag heap, where Thomas pushes the trucks of molten slag out and then they get dumped so that the slag falls down the slag heap and dries up, solidifies, whatever, cools down, you get the idea. So 16's gonna go up this hill, and then normally he would have to stop right here at this danger sign. This danger sign comes from this piece of track over here called the trees on the track. It's meant to go right there, but I realized that it was small enough that I could actually fit it in this little hole here on this stacking riser. I decided to have it face this way because if it was this way, well, maybe not. I was worried the engines might and the rolling stock might brush up against it. Maybe depending on how much it's scooted and how the engines are positioned on the track. I guess not. Oh well. But yeah, it's maybe better sitting like that. So 16 would normally have to stop right there. But on a wet day, he asks the trucks to drag him past the warning sign. So then he comes around this piece of curved viaduct, which helps out with the creation of 16 falling off the track, which I'll explain in a moment. And he comes to the end of the line here, where there are some buffers at the end of this stacking riser. So as you can see, two trucks make just enough space filled up so that 16 can be close to this end of the track. So as you can see, this piece of viaduct has this thing on the side here that pulls out in order to have tracks be placed on top of it so they can be supported. This is what helped me get the idea on how to create the crash scene where the tracks give way. So yeah, I'm just gonna move 16 and his trucks back to where they should be. And as you can see, it moves back and then the track can slip down. So yeah, that's what helped me come up with the idea on how to recreate this crash. So as 16 goes back down the hill and back to the junction, let's go this way, and then we come to a T-switch. This siding here was one of the things I decided to add to the layout. It's basically a separate siding where 16 can go. He passes through this crossing, which comes from the Thomas's Fossil Run set. I decided to include it so that these gates can kind of like help protect engines from like possibly any spilled slack. That, or like it's just a caution to keep engines from coming too close or from coming in too quickly. But anyway, 16 pushes the trucks up, and like I said, two trucks is just enough space with the length of this siding to roll up to the slack dumper, or whatever you want to call this. And then once they're against the buffers, there's enough room for this truck. It's also based on where the slack pod is placed. Like I could have it over here, but I had it right here to make just enough room for the trucks to be put in position. Now, I was testing this earlier, but I wondered, would the loads of the trucks be able to fit in this part? And they technically do, but not, it's like barely a fit. And they're on the edges of this little loader ramp thing. So, yeah, I can lift it up and they will be able to slide, but if they were a little bit smaller and fit on the inside of these edges, it could work a little better. So yeah, I just wanted to point that out. So 16's gonna go back. Whoa, we almost derailed there. 16's gonna go back this way. And I don't have to move them around the entire layout, but anyways, I'll just leave them right here for now. Here is the work shed destination. I decided to include this so that there's an area where 16 is sent to the back of the shed in disgrace after his accident. So this line on the left goes through the shed, and then it circles, it curves around and goes back to this junction. So it's basically still an oval of track, but it's got more added to it, so that it's not just a plain boring oval with an extra siding over there. It's got this extra siding, and then this track on the right has no track beyond the door, so that 16 can actually have an area in the shed where he's sent to the back and has nowhere else to go. And yeah, that's pretty much it for the layout. So yeah, I hope you like it, and I will be returning to my Medieval Misadventures reboot soon. It's just taking a little while to gather up my story ideas and decide which one I want to do next. But anyways, again, thanks for watching. I hope you like this little story layout based on Cab Over Wheels. And I'll see you guys soon. Bye bye.